He lived in Sly County and worked there for many years until he left to establish residence in West Palm Beach, Florida. When my grandfather lived in Sly County, he was a sharecropper there, so he learned a lot about farming and horticultural kinds of things. So when he moved to West Palm Beach, he decided to establish his own business. He was an entrepreneur and had his own lawn care service. So he serviced many properties in Palm Beach where a lot of very wealthy people lived. The time that I came into the family, she was certainly retired and just was mostly a homemaker there in our residence. She was always a very kind, articulate woman, and I owe my Christian upbringing to her because I would always enjoy going to church with her. Very forward thinking. Even when he was a sharecropper, he did a lot to not only enhance his family's well-being, but he also would do things to help other sharecroppers in the area to get higher wages or to get the things that they needed. So when he went to West Palm Beach, he joined this organization called the Future Outlook League. And according to a letter that I saw that he had received, it was an organization that worked to help create jobs for what they called Negroes at that particular time. And the information indicated that the purpose of this organization was to break down the walls of discrimination so that Negroes could obtain employment in any capacity that they were qualified for. So one of the things that he would say to some of my cousins who he didn't think they were doing what they should do, he said, "Well, take you just ain't no good." And he would tell them that. It may sound like a put down, but I think he kind of used that as a word of inspiration to help motivate them to do better and to take on some of those values and qualities that he had, to want to be the best that you can be in using the gifts and talents that God gave. Yeah, well, my grandfather was very forward thinking, but he was also very outspoken, and he was determined not to be taken advantage of in any way. He ran his household very well, and he had a semi-close relationship with the person that owned the land and the property that was around him. And so whenever he needed something or felt that he was not being properly compensated, or he needed something for his family, he would go to the landowner and tell him, what he needed and ask for him to give it to him. And many others might ask the same thing, but my grandfather was a chief negotiator, so he was generally able to get whatever he needed from this man. And so the man, my uncle, tells a story about how the man said that, Cutts, you are going to make it bad for the rest of my niggers with me giving you everything that you want. But he was intent on making sure that he got what he deserved and what his family needed. In his latter years to engage in consuming alcohol from time to time. And so one of the things that would happen, because he would always walk down to his corner pub, as it were, and have a good time. And then when he would walk back, sometimes he would have a lot of trouble getting back up those stairs. And so every now and then Papa would take a spill, and some of us would have to go out there and help him get back up those stairs. But he was always a very good man, a strong provider for his family, and I believe he really had a good relationship with the Lord despite some of his recreational activities. So that was always a funny thing to help him get up the